These are 5 comments that easily trigger narcissists' anger and can even drive them crazy. Dealing with tough people, especially those who are narcissistic, is one of the hardest things about being human. Everyone has dealt with them at some point, and we all know how annoying it can be to talk to them. But why do I have such a hard time reaching them? We will talk about the things that easily make a narcissist angry in this video and give you tips on how to deal with them. You should know that a narcissist's ego is weak and that they are always looking for approval and praise. Because they need to be validated, criticism or anything else they see as a threat to their ego can make them very sensitive. So, criticism is the first thing that can easily make an ego angry. You can't blame a narcissist because they will see it as an attack on their self-worth and put up a fight. So, it's important to be careful and polite when you talk to them, and instead of criticizing them directly, frame your opinion as helpful. The need for power is very important to narcissists. They are always trying to take charge of things and people around them. As a result, any attempt to question their power or control can make them angry. For instance, if you don't do what they say or question their choices, they will see that as a threat to their power, which can make them very angry and mean. Being strong and clear about your limits is important, but don't come across as hostile or hostile. Here are 5 things that will make a narcissist very angry. Let's look more closely. Allow us to now move on to the first comment. Do you know what it is? It's a simple no answer. Narcissists hate it when people say bad things about them. They won't put up with it because it makes them feel like they have no purpose or power in this world. When you tell them no, it hurts their false sense of self and makes them feel less important. People who are narcissists often feel like they deserve things because they think they are more important than others. If you tell someone no, they might take it as an attack on who they are. When this happens, they get very angry and try very hard to get their power and control back. Allow us to now move on to the second comment. They will try to hurt you or even kill you if you tell them that most people don't act like them. These people act this way because they think they're better than most people, and they could never live up to their own standards. They won't look at themselves in the mirror. Instead, they'll blame other people or outside forces. As perfect beings, they can't be blamed. You must know what makes narcissists angry or upset if you don't want to be a victim of one. You can protect yourself from their tricks and keep your relationships strong by being aware of and avoiding these red flags. A narcissist thinks they never make a mistake, so it's hard to find a flaw in them. It's silly to hold them to the same standards as everyone else because they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. It would be crazy to question them or their choices because their word is law. Narcissists think that normal people are below them and should not be respected. They will not feel bad if they hurt someone. It is hard to bring a narcissist down to the level of normal people because of how their mind is wired to process and think about things. More sensitivity to comparisons with others and a greater tendency to aggressive reactions, where problems are aggressively blamed on others, are some of the bad effects of this assimilation. They might say something like, "Why would you leave me for those typical people?" They say that the comparison is what's wrong with the relationship and accuse their partner of unhealthy deception. This makes the narcissist unhappy because their partner is always putting up a mirror to the world and judging them based on how they look. And this is the third answer. Telling a narcissist that you feel like you need to walk on eggshells is a great way to make them feel even better about how important they are. They think they are in charge of how their partner and other people feel. They look happy, but they won't tell you that. They make reasons in their heads for their actions, like making their partner feel like they need to be careful around them, so they don't have to take responsibility for what they do, which is why they might say, "I didn't do anything to make you act this way. putting the blame on their partner. They act calm and reasonable, but they paint a picture of their partner as crazy and out of control. Narcissists use gaslighting to get their partners to doubt their health and think that their partners are crazy. Narcissists' wrong ideas hurt both themselves and the people they're with, making relationships with them unhealthy. The narcissist says that their partner's behaviors are not their fault. Because of this, the narcissist blames their partner's worry and increased awareness on what the other person does or how they treat them. Because the narcissist projects and gaslights, their partner may start to think that they are to blame for the problems in the relationship and that they need to be careful not to make any mistakes. The narcissist makes a different world that isn't real, which hurts the relationship. When someone is with a narcissist, they start to attack them and include them in their false world. Narcissists use gaslighting to make their partners doubt their sanity, and they often project their own skewed views onto their partners. Fourth, if you tell them something like, "You are only responsible for finding fault with other people," they will believe you. "I don't get why there's always someone to blame when something goes wrong. You might be adding to the problems. Have you thought about that?" Nasty people can't handle these kinds of comments because they cut right to the heart of who they are. However, they don't make people think twice about what they do. Instead, they burn them. Surely, you don't have the nerve to question their reasoning. How could you say they were at fault when they were only thinking about the truth? Their view of the world is very simple. You're to blame because you made this happen. You most likely talked them into doing it, if that's what you think happened. When someone questions their intelligence or judgment, they get defensive and aggressive. They think what they're saying is obviously true, so if you think their version of events puts the blame on other people, they think there is something wrong with you. Know that you will waste your time trying to reason with a narcissist. Talking to them is like arguing with someone who won't go anywhere. If you're going to hurt yourself, hit your head on a wall. That way, you can see what's going on and maybe even get somewhere. Sometimes narcissists find it hard to admit when they're wrong or take feedback well. They just want credit for doing a good job, even if it's not deserved. If someone says that they are to blame for bad things that happen, they will strongly disagree and may even become aggressive if that is said. Last but not least, if you ask a narcissist, "Do you really think I'm that stupid?" they'll think it's an attack on their intelligence. Narcissists have a rigid view of the world and don't like being criticized or given feedback. They can't give useful feedback because they don't know themselves well enough or can't see past their own wants. Another way a narcissist might try to assess is by comparing their current goal to a different source of supply. People who are narcissists try to get support from the group as a whole by making comparisons, but they really only see their targets as tools. They don't care about how their actions might affect the people around them, because they believe they deserve this shared resource. Do you really believe that introducing a new person into my life would make me jealous? That's not true, I promise you that. Do you really think I'll believe something just because you say it, and it fits with what I believe? Still, I'm not so crazy that I'll just go along with whatever you want to happen. To sum up, a narcissist's ego is so weak that almost any slight can make them angry. They go back to a more basic state where anger is the only feeling they feel. They want you to think that their fears are at play, not your tone, phrasing, or words. I hope that this episode taught you something new. Do you agree? Please tell your friends about this and leave a comment below. There will be more time to talk in the next video. So, let the repair begin until then.